If your student is starting college next year, you're probably already bracing for the housing bill. Dorms and student apartments often run anywhere from $12,000 to $16,000 per year. And then over 4 years, we're talking more than $50,000 gone with nothing to show for it. The good news is that there is actually a smarter option, a way to house your student safely, reduce your costs, and potentially finish 4 years with almost a zero net housing expense. And it's possible with as little as 3.5% down. Hey, everybody, I'm Jason Veenstra with the Veenstra Team, brokered by eXp Realty. And every year, our team helps WMU students, K College students, KVCC students, and their families explore a strategy and make confident, informed housing decisions. And today, I'm joined by Jeremy Drobeck with Treadstone Funding. Jeremy, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
I'm Jeremy Drobeck with Treadstone Funding. Thank you so much for having me, Jason. I've been in the mortgage business 25 years, and obviously we've been working together for probably the last 10 or 15 years. I'm thankful to be on this call with you. This topic is near and dear to my heart because when I started school at Western, I was about a year in and I bought my first house and lived exactly what we are going to talk about here today.
I love that. Jeremy probably knows different loan programs better than any other lenders that I've worked with in the past. He does an incredible job of making sure that clients really understand the implications of each of those loans, figuring out what the client's goals are, and ultimately finding what is going to be the best solution for their particular scenario. We really wanted to be able to get some really good information about this concept, this strategy for bringing your student housing expenses basically down to a net zero, which is super exciting. So we've got a very simple, proven plan that we can use with students and their parents. Basically, the first is you actually buy a home near WMU or KA or KVCC with a very low down payment. Your student gets to live there during the time that they're at school with a roommate. And that roommate actually helps offset the cost of living in that house. And then after the 4 years that your student is living in the home, you sell the house, and the appreciation often offsets much or all of your housing expenses. We have helped families do this year after year, time after time. It is just a really great strategy to help bring some of those ever rising higher education costs down. We love it. And there are some nuances that you have to work through in the process. But what we wanted to do today is actually do a very specific case study on a particular house. The house that we're looking at today is 3040 West Michigan Ave. It is located right next to the Western Michigan University campus. You're literally about 3 minutes from campus. You've got super good access to a lot of restaurants and convenient access to things like Costco and all of those things within about a 10-minute drive as well. This particular home is a 4-bedroom, 2 full bath house, almost 1,700 square feet, and it's got really great bones. It's in really great condition. It's got off-street parking, a big backyard. It's got good private spaces for your student and their tenant or their roommate. But it also has some nice shared spaces to be able to utilize as well. Kalamazoo's occupancy rules for this particular neighborhood would allow your student to live in the house with one other roommate, one unrelated person. In this scenario, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We have found that for a lot of families who are going this way or using this strategy, that an FHA loan at a 3.5% down is a good way to start. Now, this particular house is priced at $200,000. So, Jeremy, can you give us some details, some specifics about what does that actually look like for this home?
Absolutely. It'd be a pleasure. I'm going to show this as an FHA with 3.5% down. You got a $200,000 purchase price. So FHA is a government-backed program. It's lenient on credit. It allows for co-signers or co-borrowers on the account. It's a real low down payment. So 3.5% down on 200,000 is $7,000. That's literally less than 1 year of room and board in the dorms, right?
Absolutely.
7,000 down. And the way the payment would work out on a scenario like that, the principal and interest part of the payment would be about $1,200 a month. Property taxes in the city of Kalamazoo on a $200,000 house work out to $416 a month. Of course, they're going to need to get some homeowners insurance, and that'll be whatever the insurance company actually charges. For purposes of our example, I'm using $125 a month for insurance. And then lastly, there's PMI or mortgage insurance. And anytime in the mortgage world, you don't put 20% down, you got to pay the PMI. That would work out to $89 a month.
Okay.
So if you add all that up, it comes to $1,831 a month.
Okay, very cool. And then if you have one roommate who's paying, let's say, $800 per month, the family's net cost becomes what, like $1,031 per month, which is pretty spectacular. Now, a dorm typically runs about $1,000 to $1,200 per month for a shared room. So owning this home costs about $1,000 per month, and your student actually gets the entire home, not just one shared room. That's incredible to me that for the same price, maybe even a little less, you get a 4-bedroom, 2 full bath house for the same as a dorm, a shared dorm room on campus. What we've seen over the last 5 years are that Kalamazoo's real estate appreciation rates are coming out just about at 5% per year. So on a $200,000 home, that's approximately $10,000 annually. So if you're looking at 4 years, Jeremy, we're looking at $40,000, and then you can sell the home for roughly $240,000, and that gives you $40,000 of appreciation alone, right?
Right. Well, don't forget, we've paid the loan down too over the 4 years, right? So there's going to be another, $10,000 roughly in pay down of the loan. And the $7,000 that was put down isn't gone. That's equity in the property as well. So I could see somebody walking out of that sale with quite a bit more than the $40,000 because of the pay down on the loan and the down payment.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. And keep in mind, on this particular home, we're only talking about having one roommate helping offset the costs, and it still gets you to a net zero payment at the end after you sell that property, which is truly incredible. Now, if somebody contacted us and they wanted to pursue a strategy like this, and a parent wanted to purchase the home, does the student have to actually be on the loan with the parent? How does that work?
So that's where it goes back to getting the pieces of the puzzle, right? The benefit to the student going on the loan is it's now owner occupied, which gets better interest rate options, lower down payment options. And because they'd be an owner of the property, they could also take advantage of the homesteaded property tax rates.
Yep.
So oftentimes we're putting the student on there for a variety of reasons, but it's to help keep the cost down. The other benefit there is the resale later on, right? The rule for whether or not you have to pay capital gains tax when you sell the house is they have to have owned and lived in the property for 2 of the last 5 years. So they can also be exempt from capital gains tax if we put the student onto the transaction.
Absolutely. But again, this goes into why it's really wise to have those initial conversations and figure out, is an FHA loan the right option? Is having a student borrower with a cosigner the right option? So if you are interested in exploring this option or this strategy a little bit more, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to head over to our website, which is mykalamazoorealestate.com, and you're going to hover over the Buy tab, and then you're going to click on Smart Student Housing. And from there, you'll be guided to starting an application with Jeremy and his team. Jeremy, explain that process just a little bit for us.
So that's just basically they're going to plug in their basic info online, or of course they can always call as well, but we'll gather up their basic info and then we'll sit down on Zoom and we will dive into the goals and where we're trying to go with this and come up with a game plan that fits the needs of that buyer.
I love it. So I, again, super appreciate you jumping on the call with us today, explaining the financial side of this strategy and why it can make so much sense for families. There's so many different scenarios, and we just want to make sure we're giving you all of the information you need to make some well-informed, well-educated decisions as you go forward. So, Jeremy, thank you again for jumping on the call. And we look forward to chatting with all of you who are watching this and figuring out what is going to be the best scenario for you and your family. Hope you have a great day.